A new poll out of the state of California for the 2026 governor's race shows that former Vice President of the United States, Kamala Harris, would be the Democratic frontrunner and by a large margin. Hello everyone and welcome to today's video. Today I'm going over an article on The Hill which discusses a new Emerson poll that does show Kamala Harris leading over the rest of the field for the California governor's race in 2026. The article begins by saying, former Vice President Kamala Harris would be the Democratic frontrunner for governor of California if she jumped into the Golden State's 2026 race to replace term-limited Governor Gavin Newsom, who is also a Democrat. Harris snagged support for a hypothetical gubernatorial bid from nearly 6 in 10 Democratic primary voters in California. 57%, according to the survey from Emerson College polling, support Kamala Harris. Former Representative Katie Porter of California, who left the House to mount an unsuccessful Senate bid last year, is in second place at 9%. Ex-Speaker of the California State Assembly, Antonio Villaraigosa, and Lieutenant Governor Eleni Kunalaki both have 4% each, and another 17% of respondents were undecided. Since Harris lost her 2024 White House bid, there's been a lot of speculation swirling over what's next for her. Some see an opening for her to succeed Newsom in California, who is expected to have national ambitions after he leaves office when he is term limited in 2026. A former state attorney general and a U.S. senator, Harris's long ties to the state of California and her national profile and experience could set her up for success there. Harris on Friday shrugged off questions about a possible gubernatorial bid so soon after her presidential run. Harris said, quote, "I have been home for 2 weeks and 3 days. My plans are to be in touch with my community, to be in touch with the leaders, and figure out what I can do to support them," she told reporters after visiting areas impacted by recent wildfires. "I am here and will be here regardless of the office I hold because it is the right thing to do, which is to show up in your community and thank the folks who are on the ground." Others think that the former vice president could try again for the Oval Office in 2028. Without Harris in the picture, support for Porter in the poll jumped up to 21%, followed by Villaraigosa at 9% and Kunalakis still at 5%. A whopping 45% of Democratic primary voters were undecided without Harris in the poll. Quote, "If Vice President Harris enters the Democratic primary, she would start out as the clear favorite," said Spencer Kimball, executive director of Emerson College polling. Without Harris in the race, the primary is wide open. The poll was conducted between February 10th and 11th among 1,000 California registered voters, had a margin of error of 3 percentage points. Among the 469 Democratic primary voters, the margin of error was 4.5 percentage points. So this obviously is very interesting and speaks to the overall discussions of what Harris's future is going to be. When you look at the Democratic primary right now in California, there's no shortage of candidates. Many people are running to succeed this race, but all of this is essentially for naught if Kamala Harris decides to run. According to the polls, she would win this primary in a pretty much huge margin. On the Republican side of things, there are again some other potential candidates as well, but if we look back at the 2024 election, which of course Kamala Harris was just in, the state of California voted for Harris over Trump 58% to 38%, a 20% margin of victory, which would be over 15%, making it a safe Democratic win. And of course, California in large part is so Democratic due to the concentrate amount of votes around Los Angeles and Los Angeles County, San Diego, and going up the coast of California into the Bay Area as well, up here near San Francisco. So California is a very Democratic state. I believe, let's see the shifts from 2020. California did trend Republican in a lot of parts of the state, even with Kamala Harris being on the top of the ticket, who's from California. Pretty much almost every single part of California shifted to the Republican side. So maybe Republicans feel some optimism in California and trying to put up a governor candidate for 2026. But don't forget, the state swung massively to the Republicans in 2024, and Harris still won the state by 20 points. So I'm not so sure what that means for 2026 yet, but when you look at the 26 governor map, I have about 6 states that I see as competitive, and California is not one of them. California right now, I would put it as over 15% margin of victory. I'd put it as safe Democrat. I really don't see much of a scenario where California is going to be too competitive. If Harris is the nominee as well, I think it even more so would be a safe Democratic governor's race. But I thought this was interesting, and this goes into the overall conversation of, yes, even though the election was just a few months ago, and 2026 is still, 11 months away, all eyes are on Kamala Harris for what she's going to do, because that will have drastic implications for 2026 and for 2028. When you look at the Democratic primary candidates right now, the only one that's expressed interest is the TV host Stephen A. Smith. Speculated candidates by the media. It's a completely wide open field with lots of potential people who could run. But in all the early primary polling that there's been, it's pretty clear that Kamala Harris has the highest lead right now. Every poll that's been done has Kamala Harris leading. Again, I'm not too surprised by this, as typically after an election, the person that was just on the top of the ticket is usually leading. They're the person most Americans know. They're the person most people in their party know, seeing as they just voted for them at the top of the ticket. So I think Harris will continue to hold a lead for a long time, but it's not like it's a small lead either, though. She's leading by 20 to 30 points in almost every single poll over the field. So even if it doesn't sustain 100%, she has a very big lead going into 2028. If she does decide not to run for governor and run for president again, she would start out as the clear favorite in the Democratic primary. Though if she does run for governor in 2026, I think the chances of her running in 2028 are extremely low, as there'd be a very quick turnaround going from governor to president. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to give it a like. Remember to click subscribe and keep coming back, because I post a new video every single day, so you're not going to want to miss those. Leave a comment below telling me your thoughts, and I hope to see you in a future video. That will do it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please remember to give it a like. And if you really liked it, please remember to click the subscribe button. And make sure you turn post notifications on so you always get notified when I post a new video. That way you never miss one. Also, please remember to share this video with your friends and family if you really like the video. And remember to stay tuned, because I'll be posting at least one video every single day leading up until Election Day, so I'd really appreciate it if you keep coming back and watching those videos. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you in a future video.